This is BBC One, and at 6, the news with Sophie Raworth.
Tonight at 6, desperate families are still searching for their children more than 24 hours after the devastating fire in a Swiss ski resort. Posted online, the faces of the missing. It's confirmed that 40 people have died, 119 are injured. Some of them have not yet been identified. This the moment it's thought the blaze took hold. Sparkler candles on champagne bottles too close to the ceiling. The whole basement bar was quickly engulfed. 16-year-old Arthur is among the missing. His mother says she is desperate for news.
I don't know how severe his burns are. I don't know if he's recognisable. I don't know. All I want to do is find my child. All I want is to find my son.
Also tonight, a developing story. A major search and rescue operation is underway off the east coast of East Yorkshire. A number of people got in trouble in heavy seas. Amber weather warnings, meaning a danger to life, are extended in Scotland with heavy snowfall expected as a cold snap sweeps the UK. The boom in weight loss jabs. Up to 2.5 million people in the UK now thought to be using them every week.
And I see you in London working with your father.
And we speak to the star of Hamnet, Jessie Buckley, ahead of the Oscar-tipped film, which is set to be released this week.
On BBC London, drivers of electric vehicles will have to pay the congestion charge for the first time as the daily rate increases for all motorists.
Good evening and welcome to the BBC News at 6. Families are still searching for their children after the fire that swept through a bar during New Year's Eve celebrations in the Swiss resort of Crans-Montana. 40 people have been killed and 119 have been injured, some as young as 15. Almost half of them are being sent to specialist centres for severe burns across Europe. 6 of the injured have still not been identified. Investigators say it is likely that the fire started when champagne bottles with sparklers were lifted too close to the ceiling at around 1:30 yesterday morning. The flames quickly took hold. From Crans-Montana, here's Sarah Rainsford. Sarah Rainsford in Crans-Montana, thank you. The Met Office is warning that the freezing conditions currently blanketing the UK could last into the weekend and beyond. A number of amber weather warnings for snow and several yellow warnings for snow and ice are in place. The most severe conditions will be in Scotland, where several centimetres of snow have already fallen and more is expected. There are warnings of power cuts and vehicles becoming stranded. Well, Louise Hosey is in Aberdeenshire. What is it like? Well, NHS bosses are warning that the cold snap could increase the pressure on the health service in the coming days, despite the number of patients in hospital with flu in England falling in the last week. Hugh Pym is with me now, and the number of people who had flu who were hospitalised, the figures were not as bad as was feared. Hugh Pym, thank you. A major search and rescue operation is underway this evening in heavy seas off the coast of East Yorkshire after a number of people got into trouble in the water at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Reports suggest that one person has been pulled from the sea, but 2 others are missing. The Coast Guard says a helicopter, a spotter plane and 2 RNLI vessels are searching the coast off Withensea, east of Hull. We'll have more on that story if we get it before the end of the programme. President Trump has warned Iran against killing peaceful protesters, saying that the US was locked and loaded and ready to come to their rescue. At least 6 people were reportedly killed in Iran yesterday after a week of mass demonstrations sparked by worsening economic conditions. In response, a senior Iranian official has said any intervention would cause chaos across the Middle East. Here's Paul Adams. Police in Nigeria say the driver of a car carrying the British boxer Anthony Joshua that was involved in a fatal crash in Nigeria has been charged with reckless and dangerous driving. The former heavyweight world boxing champion was injured after the car he was in hit a parked truck on a busy Nigerian highway on Monday. 46-year-old Adeniyi Mobolayi Kayode was driving the boxer and 2 of his friends who died in the crash. From today, all children in the UK between the ages of 12 to 18 months can now be offered a vaccine against chickenpox for the first time on the NHS. It will be combined with the existing MMR jab. Children up to the age of 6 can catch up on doses when invited. Our health correspondent Catherine Burns reports. The time is nearly 6:20. Our top story this evening. Swiss authorities confirm 40 people have been killed and 119 have been injured in the fire at a bar in a Swiss ski resort. Many families are still searching for their missing children. And coming up, we speak to one of the stars of the film Hamnet, tipped for Oscar greatness.
And at 6:30, what to do now with your Christmas tree? Some greener options when taking down the decorations. And a look back to a snowy Hampstead Heath when it had a ski jump.
Renewable energy produced a record amount of electricity in the UK in 2025, according to BBC analysis. The new data confirms just how central renewable power has become to our electricity supply, providing at least half the UK's power on roughly 1 in 3 days last year. Our climate editor, Justin Rolat, is here to explain. Justin.
Thanks, Sophie. Well, the Met Office has confirmed that 2025 was the sunniest year on record in the UK, and as more data centres are connected to the grid. Sophie.
Justin, thank you. Sales of weight loss jabs are continuing to boom. It is estimated that up to 2.5 million adults in the UK are on the weekly injections. Most are paying privately, but the NHS is beginning to roll out their use to those most in need. Our medical editor, Fergus Walsh, has been following 2 patients for more than a year. Now, in around an hour's time, the semi-finals of the World Darts Championship gets underway. The defending champion, Luke Littler, is hoping to reach the final and repeat last year's heroics. Matt Graveling is at Alexandra Palace in London for us. Matt, thank you. Now, it's one of the most anticipated films of 2026, Hamnet, based on the award-winning novel by Maggie O'Farrell. It tells the story of William Shakespeare and his wife, Agnes, and the tragic events that inspired Shakespeare's Hamlet. Lisa Mazimba has been talking to one of the film's stars, Jessie Buckley. Weather now. Ben Rich is here. Hello.
Hi, Sophie. It is cold out there and it is going to stay that way. So a really wintry weekend. Sophie.
Thank you very much. That's it from us on the BBC News at 6. I'll be back at 10 now. It's time for the news where you are. Goodbye.
Thanks, Sophie. Coming up this evening, drivers of electric vehicles in central London will have to pay the congestion charge for the first time as the daily rate increases for all motorists. Some businesses say they can't afford it.
It'll just be a diesel van that will go into the London zone if that's what we need to do, because actually we don't have the same incentives that we had to put an EV in there.
Transport bosses say the changes are needed to tackle congestion. Also on the programme.
Well, the temperature has fallen and there is an Arctic chill on the way. So how is the capital preparing? I'll have all the details.
One father's frustration after his disabled son was turned away from a bus because the space for wheelchairs was blocked by buggies. We'll have the full story. Plus,
when it comes to discovering the wonders of nature, there really is no place like home.
Getting wild in the wetlands, we find out from Londoners about their favourite wildlife spots as Sir David Attenborough's new documentary explores nature in the capital. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sonia Jessup. As many of us get back to work after the new year, some drivers and businesses are facing an extra expense. From today, and for the first time, those with an electric vehicle will have to pay the congestion charge. And for most other drivers, the charge has also gone up.